welcome back to a new Plan With Me video. Today we are planning out the month of September. I'm also going to be giving a little more explanation about my last videos, about how everything works together, the future log, the monthly log, the weekly log. We're going to go through all of that. So let's get started. The theme of this month is ladybugs, so that makes our theme color red. I like to bring the colors of summer into this month since it is probably the last month of warm weather before we go into fall. I start by cutting out a shape at the right side of the page. Sometimes I like a little more dynamic opening pages, so that's what we're doing here. September is my holiday month after a month of hard work, so I plan to chill and enjoy my free time, but I will also be preparing for the new school year. How I do that you can see in my upcoming video. I will be showing you some spreads to start off the new school year with a planned out pretty journal. So stay tuned for that. September is also my birthday month, and since red is one of my favorite colors, I'm really liking this opening page. I had a lot of fun drawing the ladybugs, which is actually pretty easy. I am not the world's best drawing artist, so I have to be creative in finding themes that I can actually draw out. So this was a fun one. The marker that I'm using is a red color Crayola Super Tip. It's a cheap alternative to the more expensive markers on the market, but I absolutely love them. The fine liner that I'm using is the one that came with this Scribbles That Matter notebook. For the more thick black lines, I'm using a 1.0 Staedtler pigment liner. So that was it for the opening page. Despite the drawings and the lines are not perfect, I really like how it turned out. For the monthly log, I'm setting up my usual layout of 31 squares. It's a drawing heavy spread if you want all the squares to stand apart like I did. But if you want something easier to draw, you can just make some kind of table-looking monthly log where all the squares exist of the same lines, if that makes any sense. This goes for the rest of the bullet journal as well. If you just want to use the system and not the flowers and the ladybugs, that's totally fine. You can skip to 6 minutes into this video where I explain a little bit more about how the system works. It actually surprised me how well this red marker is working. Usually cheaper markers tend to dry out at the end of a spread like this, but this one did the job flawlessly. I did think about tuning the squares to fit in this month's theme, so I gave every one of them a black dot on a red background. I then gave every box a number of the day of that month with a gold fine liner of the brand Pilot. And of course, I'm drawing out the name of the month, September. It's absolutely my favorite month, so it can be in big, bold letters. I added drop shadows to the boxes because I think it's an easy way to bring some life into your spreads. Since September is a holiday month for me, I won't have that much to do, so I'm creating a small to-do list. In October, on the contrary, this will be a massive list. I really love the flexibility of creating your own journal. I am finishing up this spread by drawing some more ladybugs all over the page. I love how it turned out. Definitely some happy colors for the last month of summer. At the right bottom of the page, I wanted to add some washi tape, but since I did not have anything that fits this theme, I drew it myself. Next up is the mood tracker. As you can see, I drew 6 boxes on this page. The idea is to divide the 30 days over these 6 boxes. That way I will know that I have to draw 5 ladybugs per square and I won't have to count all the time. The idea of this spread is to color in the ladybugs according to the color of my mood that day, and the happier I am, the more dots I will give them. On the right page, I drew a quote that says, "Today's mood is sponsored by coffee." I used to be an absolute coffee addict. It's actually ironic since I chose to write that quote right before I started to cut down on my coffee. So my mood might be affected this month by me detoxing from my coffee addiction. Vlog, I chose an extremely simple layout this month. I won't have to plan that much, so I don't want to spend a lot of time drawing out my weeklies. I added a little calendar on the top left corner to know which week of the month we are in, so I can prepare myself for school accordingly. The rest of this spread is just the days of the week, a to-do list, and a notes section. That's it. It's rather easy to give this spread some energy with the red Crayola markers though. I only drew out one weekly, but I will just be repeating this 4 times. Alright, that was it for this month. Now, I will be explaining a little bit more about how it all works together. Remember our future log. You can see I colored in the future log with the theme color of this month. Now, I wrote 2 things under the month of September. The first one has a triangle, so I'm checking my key to see what a triangle means. It means I have an event. Now, what is the event? It's the start of school at the 21st of September. So I go to my monthly log and I write it down in the box of the 21st. Start of school. I'm writing in pencil since it is a hypothetical exercise, so I'm sorry if it's not very clear. Alright, now I go back to the future log and I see a circle. My key tells me that a circle means I have a task. The task is cleaning my room. So I move on to my monthly log again and I write it in the to-do list. So, quick recap. We had an event and a task written in our future log and wrote them in the monthly log. That's basically it. Moving on to the weekly log, let's say I want to clean my room in the first week of September. So I write it down in my to-do list of that week, again with a little open circle. Now, let's say the first week I won't find the time to do it, but it still has to be done. So I will have to plan it in another week of September. I can choose to migrate it. This means I will draw an arrow to the right side of the circle, just like that. Now, I go to the 3rd week of September and I write it down there in the to-do list. Let's say I've been a productive girl and I cleaned my room in the 3rd week of September. This means I get to color in the circle. A very rewarding thing to do, actually. However, I know myself and I will probably not have done it yet by then. It still has to be done though, so I can choose to migrate it again. This time, I would like to move it up to October. However, I will have to write it in my future log since I haven't created the month of October yet. So I put a left arrow in the circle this time. This means I migrated it back to the future log in an upcoming month. So I go back to my future log and write down the task of cleaning my room beneath October. When I'm creating the month of October, I will refer back to this note and write it in my monthly log. Now, let's say I've not been as productive as I would want and I still haven't cleaned my room. But we have to be honest here. The first weeks of school are so hectic. Cleaning my room is not something I want to be spending my time on right now. So, I decide to cancel the task. Referring back to my key, I see I can do this by drawing a straight line through the task. Just like this. So, that's how it all works together. This works the same for events. I wrote start of school in my monthly log, so I can write it again in my weekly log. I am using the same symbols throughout the entire journal, so it's always clear what kind of note it is. That's it. If you have more questions about this, don't hesitate to put them in the comments down below. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Before I send you off to the flip through, I just wanted to show you a little something that I bought. Let's call it the product of the month. So it's this pencil case that I bought at Notebook Therapy. It looks like a normal pen case, but I really like the concept, so I'm just going to show you. You can open it up, obviously. Then when you pull it down, it serves as a pen holder to put on your desk. So when you go home again, you can just pull it up again, close it, and put it in your bag. I think it's a really useful object, so I'm definitely going to put the link in the description box down below. Now I'm going to show you the flip through of everything we did today.